everyone, Easy22X here. How is you guys doing? We're on week 3 of the Ray Ray Draft League. As I'm recording this video, a lot of exciting matches happening. So let's go with rankings of last week. So this is the ranking from last week. We have All Wild Flesh and My Wild Workers and San Diego Palkia and Pokezone. Actually, all 4 of them are undefeated in week 2. Coming into week 3, this is actually really funny because both first and second seed are actually going to be fighting it off. And then I believe that Johnny, who is the 5th seed, is going to be battling the 3rd seed. So a lot of really cool matches going on. And as I mentioned, some tough matches too, especially for 45 Mice, who is going to be going against the number 4 seed. So there's a lot of things that I am a little nervous about, to be quite honest. Like the ranking for the most part, the top part has stayed very, very similar. The bottom tile is actually keeps changing. So I don't know what to expect. But I can say for sure that one of the things that I am really excited about is this match that I'm about to be commentating with Angelo Hunter. This is going to be Sven Bensu's Diamond. Both are 8 and 9 in our current ranking system. So really important. Sven starting like 0-1. And then one last screen Bensu's bad. Winning another match this week will be really good for him because it will move him a little bit further into the playoff chances. Diamond with a really hot start at the start. That pun intended. Ended up losing the match last week. Unfortunately, it was very, very unfortunate. Paragon Z, we actually casted that match, so it's very interesting to see how he adapts this time, and maybe he can win it. 1-1, very good games and stuff. So let's go to the match. Hello everyone, we're gonna be watching Sven Bensu's Diamond. Here with me we have Angelo Hunter in the mic. How are you doing, Angelo?
Hey guys, I'm doing well. Super excited to watch this battle here. I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet, but got some week 3 action here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, Diamond is actually a returning player from Season 1. He actually just top cut the High Roller Draft League, which is the one where you have like almost a $300 fee. So he actually made up the money by, top cutting that. And Sven is our new one. And I mean, they're both 1-1. So kind of very interested to see who of the two is going to win.
Yeah, so here in Team Preview, we see that Diamond decided to bring the Rain Core featuring Tapu Koko, Ferrothorn, Persian, and the regular Doug Trio. Very interesting there. And then on Sven's side, we have the Lapras, Raichu, Landorus, Kartana, Drampa, and Gothitelle. So we see the Shadow Tag option there on Sven's side with the Lapras, and then some good support pieces around it. So Izzy, what do you think of these two teams here?
I think these are their best, strongest core. I don't know about the Doug Trio on Diamond side. That looks a little odd, but Rain with a Ferrothorn and then Coco, just like additional. But it's kind of weird with the Raichu in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they both brought the best ones they could out of their pool, and it's just really weird. I do want to say though, Sven is like very bad with hypnosis, and the fact that he keeps ringing it, I think honestly the Goth is just to Shadow Tag. I feel like he just brings us for that because his hypnosis, it doesn't hit hypnosis.
Yeah, well, I can't relate to that, as you'll see in my week 3 match. But yeah, it's interesting. Both teams here have trapping options. I forgot the Doug Trio gets Arena Trap here, so Diamond has the option to just trap in whatever Sven leads here. We're gonna go ahead and see the leads here. For Diamond's gonna be Persian and Doug Trio. Very interesting combination here. And then we're gonna have the Lapras and Raichu on Sven's side.
And once again, I actually criticized Diamond a lot last week about a very passive lead. And once again, he kind of is showing me a passive lead. Ductrio is not a mon that usually Dynamax. I actually don't know who of the two is going to have a Sash, but I think if this Lapras, I didn't see if it's a weakness policy, but you have Fake Out, you have the faster Fake Out pressure, and Lapras could just go for a Veil and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're actually going to see the Persian go for a Fake Out here first. Raichu's going to flinch, and the Doug Trio is going to follow up with a high horsepower. So just looking to get rid of that Raichu turn 1, and successfully does so. We don't see a Dynamax come out from the Lapras. It's going to go for a Hydro Pump here, presumably into the Doug Trio slot. That is what we see here. Let's see if it's holding a focus sash. The Dugtrio is holding a focus sash. All right, so Diamond's game plan here was to trap in the opponent and get rid of that Raichu early on.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that Sven didn't just Dynamax turn 1. I actually forgot that the Persian actually gets Fake Out. So this is actually really good for him. Yes, you're trapped, but what is stopping you from just doing the same move you did, just another Hydro stuff, but then you just max Cortana. Like, you don't have anything for Cortana right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the speed tiers are if that Persian's able to do something like Parting Shot here on this turn going before the Kartana. And the Dugtrio should still be the fastest thing on the field, so it might have something interesting to slow down the Kartana. Maybe a Memento, maybe something to hit the Lapras super hard. We'll have to see.
Oh, you know what? I actually forgot about that mode of Dugtrio. It's just so weird. There's also a chance that Dugtrio does learn Ally Switch. Eh,
Oh, that would be interesting.
and I know Diamond is not shy about that. So
Yeah.
we saw what Sven did on. Oh, we're seeing a Dynamax now.
A Dynamax on Josh's side, that's presumably going to be that Persian, given that the Dugtrio is so low. We do see the Persian Dynamax. I'd be interested to see if Josh has decided to run something cheeky on the Dugtrio, like a Fissure maybe, expecting one of the opponent's Pokemon not to Dynamax here. But we're going to see a Dynamax matched on Sven's side. It's going to be that Kartana, if I remember correctly, from their move selection. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it is the Cortana, the Mind Maxing, and I must be like losing my speed tiers. I did not think that Cortana was slower than the Persian. So very
Yeah,
interesting point.
yeah. I'm also not familiar either. We do see the Dugtrio go for a Rock Slide here onto both Pokemon. It's super effective on the Lapras, doing not much to the Kartana. We do see the Max Flare come out into the Kartana. Let's see if this picks up the KO, and it does.
Oh,
Sven just losing their Dynamax on turn 2 and
oh
getting
my
nothing out of
god!
it.
No Persian learned a fire move. What is that? Is Sven probably regrets this because I'm pretty sure he did not expect this at all.
No,
Like,
I definitely wouldn't have expected it either. I think the Persian gets pretty good coverage overall. I think it gets, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam. It must get Flamethrower or something because wow, that is crazy.
yeah, this is an awful. Like, look, things very good. Like a free swap up, and then the big cat. And we joke about sometimes Incineroar Dynamaxing in games, but this time we have the Persian Dynamaxing and being like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense for this game one especially because in that position it was a no-brainer that Sven was going to Dynamax that Kartana, and if you got that fire move tech down and you think you're faster, you might as well go for it.
Yeah, and now we see a Ferritor coming in from Diamond side. And I don't know. I mean, you still have the Dynamax, and it looking very favorable for Diamond.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got all the momentum he could possibly ask for right now. I don't think this Drampo will be able to do too much to the Dynamax Persian or the Ferrothorn. I believe we saw the Flamethrower in the team preview there, or in the Pokemon selection, but yeah, it'd be hard to outspeed this Persian and be able to go for the Ferrothorn, especially if it has something like Protect. And we are going to see the Ferrothorn withdraw, actually. Let's see what he goes into here. He's going to go into the Pelipper, so anticipating that Fire move into the Ferrothorn, swapping into the Rain so that it can't do too much damage later on. We'll see what the Persian goes for here. It's probably going to go first. It's going to go for the Max Strike. Interesting. Going to decide to lower the speed of Sven's Pokemon, presumably for that Ferrothorn in the back so that he can almost ensure that he is faster. Let's see what Sven decides to go for here with his Lapras. Lapras is going to go for a Hydro Pump into Persian. This should do some good damage with that Rain now set up. And the Drampa is going to go for a Draco Meteor. That does a lot of damage to the Persian, actually. Yeah, and the Persian is going to show a Berry here. Assuming going to be an Aguave Berry or 30%. Yep. Oh, no, Citrus, actually. Interesting. What do you think about that turn, Izzy?
I think this is. I mean, Sven got a lot of good information, though. The fact that if there was scouting happening last week, that Persian actually was AV last week, so it's actually pretty cool. The fact that we're seeing this, the citrus berry, then the Pelipper. You want to kind of maybe target us, like see what item could we have if it's Scarf potentially. Like right now, Sven is just I lost this game, but I'm gonna see how much damage I can do in general. And see once again, you actually get to see Ice Beam in the Pelipper.
Yeah, and that Ice Beam does a really good chunk of damage to the Drampa. It actually gets the Freeze. Very interesting. Persian just going to go for another Max Strike. Maybe Diamond's taking a bit of a conservative approach here, deciding to not reveal their moves. thinking that they have the game in the bag with enough, just the strikes and the flares. But we're going to see a freeze dry come out from Lapras into the Pelipper that is going to be 4 times super effective. It's going to take it out in one hit. We already saw that Sash revealed onto the Dugtrio. I don't think that crit's going to matter too much. Let's see if this Drampa is able to thaw. It is not. So that Drampa is unable to move, and it is now Persian and Ferrothorn against Lapras and Drampa.
You know what? It's very unfortunate that freeze is gonna matter a lot because we know that this Drampa has flame trappers. And you have Perish on the Lapras, right? You just have to stall, but you have to get rid of the Ferrothorn to play the Perish game.
That's true. You could just focus down the Persian with the Draco Meteor. I think even at -2, it would have taken out at that range. And then you just kind of click Parasol and hopefully stall out the Ferrothorn. The Drampa is going to freeze. I believe they're going for a Protect on that turn. The Persian is going to reveal Parting Shot to the Drampa. Interesting that they didn't go for an attacking move that turn. And we are going to see the Lapras go for a Freeze Dry into the Alolan Persian. And so it is going to be a 2v1 on Sven's side. An interesting turn of events here. Actually swinging the momentum slightly into Sven's favor. We are going to see the body press go into the Drampa. That should be enough to pick up the knockout. Okay, so it is a 1v1 in this situation here.
Yeah, and this is actually very, very unfortunate in Sven because the way he brought it back, like, he could have played with the Parishon endgame, but unfortunately because of that freeze, I think it really, really hurt him a lot.
Yeah, not being able to protect there and not getting the Parasong off the next turn is definitely going to be a bummer. It is going to be hard, regardless with the body press Ferrothorn, but I think they had enough turns with Protect left to get the win with the Parasong. We are going to see the Freeze Dry coming out here. Going to go for the freezes instead, and they get the freeze onto the Ferrothorn. Oh, but it immediately thaws out and goes for a Power Whip. So
okay, that's so rude.
That was very rude of the Ferrothorn.
A Ferrothorn, come on, the Drampa go like 3 turns, and then this is a very, like, I know the crit didn't matter. I know the thaw, in my opinion, the freeze didn't matter that much on the Drampa, but the 2-turn taunt is just telling Pokemon Sven, you're not gonna win this game. I'm sorry. Yep, that's how I felt, right?
And the connect on the Power Whip too to rub it in even more.
For real, I do think though Sven has probably a good idea of everything now that Diamond could do. Diamond revealed a little bit too much, in my opinion. You saw Fake Out, Parting Shot, and flamed a fire attack from the Persian, right? So no foul play, or it could also be Snarl too. So we don't even know that either. Be very interesting what else it is. I will say though that speed control wise, it is 100% very, very in favor of Diamond. So I think that's gonna be very important, and I'm excited to see what adjustments Sven could do.
Yeah, and a very interesting reveal of Parting Shot there on the Persian reveals that it's not so much an offensive Pokemon on Josh's side. They did reveal the fire move, but other than that, they were going for max strikes, and you could see that they were willing to take the risk on the Dynamax with the Persian, and it really paid off. It does not appear to be, super offensively invested. But yeah, and it was also interesting to see that Diamond's focus was on taking out the Raichu early on. And kind of hard called the lead there with Dugtrio, because I don't think Dugtrio there would have served too good of a purpose if the Raichu wasn't there.
Yeah, no, and I mean, this is when you have 2 fake outs, right? Like you're gonna be playing the battle of who's the faster fake out. I actually thought Raichu was slightly faster, but I really should learn my speed. I don't remember Persian being so fast, man.
Yeah, Persian's pretty fast. I don't believe it's too much faster than Raichu. It might even be a speed tie. I'm not 100% sure either.
That would be funny if it actually is a speed tie and he just lost it on turn 1. Since you lose his Sash and everything.
Yeah, for sure. So here in Game 2, we're going to see a Persian Coco lead on Diamond's side. Very interesting adjustment here. And then we're going to see a Lapras and Landorus lead. So I definitely believe that Sven has the advantage here in the lead with that Landorus threatening down the Coco and the Persian. What do you think, Izzy?
Absolutely, and you saw, right? The Persian is probably not gonna go for a fake out, because high chances Sven could just Dynamax turn 1, and just Max Quake that Coco. Well, what is the Coco gonna do, right? Or you could just protect an EQ, calling that he's not gonna fake out you. It's a very good lead for Sven, and it just creates a 50-50 where Diamond's gonna have to pick and choose.
Yeah, definitely. And we did see the white herb reveal there on Coco, implying that it is physical eliminating those Intimidate drops from the Landorus. So we'll have to see what Diamond does to take advantage of that item usage. I believe he could go for something like a Max Lightning if he's feeling really risky and just Parting Shot into that Landorus. Although you do risk the White Herb on the Landorus' side. Um, but but here, yeah, the Landorus seems to be putting on a lot of offensive pressure.
Yeah, and it does look like Sven is gonna go with the Dynamax turn one, and I think it's fair, right? You're down the game, you really just wanna click the funny button of Dynamax and try to get some KOs now, because you know that neither of these ones have Sash, and Lando's strong. Lando's
Yeah.
gonna do some good damage to either of these Pokemons.
Definitely, definitely. And we see Sven switch out the Lapras in favor of that Kartana and go for the Dynamax onto the Landorus. We don't see any switches on Josh's side, so we'll have to see what they go for here in just a moment. That Coco looking a bit threatened by the Landorus. Diamond going to go ahead and protect the Coco, a very safe play to avoid any big max Quake damage. And we're going to see a Parting Shot from the Persian into the Landorus. Very good move to decrease that damage output of the Landorus and get a free switch in. We'll have to see what they go into here. But yeah, very good turn overall, you know, avoiding some damage, getting that drop on the Landorus.
Yeah,
And they're going to go with the Ferrothorn, a very defensive switch here, avoiding too much damage. And the Landorus is going to go for a max Airstream into the Ferrothorn. It's not going to do too much because of that drop, doing about 30%. But now Sven's side's kind of schmoovin with that Airstream boost and the speed on their side.
yeah, and the thing is, because Sven swapped to Cortana just gonna Sacred Sword the Ferrotron. Ferrotron goes down, and what is stopping you from just max creating the Tapu Koko?
Yeah, the only thing that would prevent a Max Quake in that slot is, I believe, a Pelipper switch in. But yeah, you're right, that Kartana can just freely Sacred Sword the Ferrothorn.
And even if you don't want to go for the max weight, right? Like a maxer stream is gonna like chunk whatever. Even at -1, it's gonna chunk a good stuff. But it looks like Sven's not gonna go with that, and kind of interesting. I mean, fair to double the Pokemon that just protected, right? So this is going looking very well, and I like that he's trying to do the most out of his max.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Dynamax on Diamond side here. It could be that Ferrothorn or could be that Coco. We'll have to see. It is going to be the Ferrothorn. Very interesting. So instead of switching out and keeping it alive, they decide to Dynamax it so that it can, you know, withstand something like a Sacred Sword. The Coco did just protect, so it is a free double into that slot, like you just said. The Kartana going to go for a Leaf Blade, do absolutely massive damage. Was that a critical hit? It was not a critical hit. That is just the power of Life Orb Kartana. And this Landorus is going to be able to follow up with an Airstream into the Ferrothorn slot and do some good damage.
Yeah, and we saw Power Whip and Body Press from the Ferrothorn, right? So that means we're not gonna be seeing. It's not gonna pick a K. I would be very surprised if Max Knuckle picks a KO on Kartana.
Yeah, Kartana is pretty thin, but it does have some pretty good defense. That being said, here comes a Knuckle into the Kartana, and like you said, it hangs on pretty handedly, if I will add. And now Sven has the opportunity to just kind of run away with the game. Both Pokemon on their side have a +1 speed boost. Their Kartana got a beast boost, and they're just looking to steamroll through this game.
Yeah, and there's a hard chance, like, okay, the person comes back, you have fake up pressure, and this is actually pretty good for. You have to make a call now here, right? But I think Landorus is getting on check, and Landorus could even KO the Pharaoh, or do some decent damage actually.
Yeah, I did get Parting Shot earlier in the game. I just remembered, so I don't think a KO here is possible on either Mon, but we'll have to see. The Kartana does go for a Protect here, so I'm gonna avoid any fake outs or anything like that from the Persian side, and there's the fake out into the Protect. I believe the Landorus is going to go ahead and max Airstream, into the Persian. Yeah, it just does under 50% because of that Parting Shot earlier on. A pretty safe target there, though, from Sven, just to get some damage into that Persian for the Kartana to clean up later on. And then the Ferrothorn's going to go for another Knuckle, assumingly into the Kartana, and it's going to hang on thanks to that Protect.
Yeah, I actually was, hoping that it will do a little bit more, but this is looking really dicey for Diamond as it shows. And I'm not gonna lie, Diamond, you have the most unconventional Dynamax mons possible. Like, who Dynamax is Ferrothorn?
Yeah, we have seen things like Assault Vest Ferrothorn in the past Dynamax, but yeah, definitely interesting to see it in a draft league, especially with that 4 times fire weakness. Yeah, so interesting position here. I think the Kartana is able to just clean up the Ferrothorn at this point with a Sacred Sword. I doubt that Landorus will be able to take out the Persian with something like a U-turn, but we do see the Kartana go for the Sacred Sword. That is going to clean up the Ferrothorn there, so Josh is losing his Dynamax, and the Iron Barbs just barely misses the KO onto Kartana. So it will have the opportunity to go for one more attack if the Persian decides not to go into it. We'll see what the Landorus does here. After the Kartana Beast Boost, so I believe it's at +2 now. And the Life Orb chip. Okay, my mistake. The Life Orb chip takes out the Kartana, and the Landorus goes for a Rock Slide and actually misses the Persian. The Persian's going to go for a Burning Jealousy, so there is the reveal of the Fire type move on the Persian.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty cool to know that that was the move. I think it makes sense to be the only attacking move. I wonder what is the fourth move because it's not been revealed. But at this point, I don't know. It's not looking good. You don't have a check for that Landers, and it's the fastest thing alive, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how a Kingdra necessarily takes out a Lapras before it gets freeze dried either. Yeah, so we're going to see the Kingdra go for a Protect. Josh identifies that it's a bit under threat right now. Lander's going to go for a Rock Slide. Let's see if it's able to connect this time onto the Persian. And it is, hoping for something like a flinch here from Sven just to wrap up the game. We do see that Citrus Berry again from the Persian. Able to restore nice and good 25%. And then a parting shot into the Lapras makes a lot of sense. You don't want your Kingdra to just drop to a freeze dry. And we do see the freeze dry go into the Protect from Kingdra.
I'm not gonna lie, you could actually have gone with a Perish Zone at this point because Lapras is the slowest Pokemon in the field. And you have and they still have 3 Pokemons.
Yep, definitely.
Sven, why do you not click Perish Zone? I'm so sad. I want the Perish Zone.
Well, Sven opting to go for the flinchy button and click Rock Slide does get another parting shot off into the Lapras, so it's not going to be doing too much damage. But Sven believes in his Lapras to KO with the Freeze Dry, especially with that Hydro Pump miss onto the Landorus. Let's see how much this Freeze Dry does. Still does a good chunk, over 50%. Izzy, I think he's got some arguments there against your Parasong idea.
I just think it would have been cleaner, and yeah, that's very unfortunate the Kinder missed the Hydropron on Landers. You definitely needed that. And still though, I mean, oh, the fly is dirty, so dirty.
Ooh, the fly to avoid any attacks from the Kingdra, and then we do see a Burning Jealousy. It's not going to hit the Landorus on Sven's side, and the Hydro Pump just going to whiff into the fly slot. Lapras going for a Freeze Dry into the Kingdra to finish it off. Izzy, I just realized he's probably not clicking Parasong because he doesn't want to reveal it for Game 3. I don't think they revealed it in Game 1, so just a bit of an information game going on here. But this is looking like the end for Josh, especially given that it's a 3v1.
You know what? Fair. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure if you've been watching Spen's game, the Lapras has Parasong.
That's true, but you never know. It could have something like that Thunder, or maybe a different ice move like Blizzard, or maybe sheer cold. Some people like to click one button and just kill things.
You're right. Or like, if Lapras learns Hypnosis, would be really, really nice if it just hypnosis around.
Yep.
Also, I just want to see, Sven, why do you not just U-turn? Why do you keep clicking Rock Slide? Which, by the way, he has not missed a single Rock Slide.
He missed the very first one, and since then he has not.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, but again, information game. Don't want him to know you have U-turn just yet. It might come in handy Game 3.
I just think Rock Slides. Oh, you got EQ. You got Protect EQ.
That's also true.
I don't know. I think Sven played a little bit more spicy because if the Hydra hadn't missed. And I forgot what Drampa was the last Pokemon, right? So you actually no. Sven wouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But we did see Sven make that really nice adjustment there with the Landorus Game 1, getting that Airstream boost onto the Kartana and just letting it get some Beast boost and kind of sweep through Diamond's team.
Yeah, Diamond, can you stop Dynamaxing the unconventional ones, please? Can you just... I want to see Diamond actually leading Pelipper Kingdra.
Right.
I
Well,
actually want to see that. Or like Cortana. Oh my god, I feel like Sven is listening to me, but this game is recorded, by the way. But yeah, in game 3, you will kind of read the weather coming, and Sven is like, I think he's gonna bring the rain. That's why I'm gonna bring Drampa, who has Cloud9, and it's not gonna make the rain work.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
if he said,
the
yeah.
Lapras on its own kind of negates the rain because you're not going to do too much damage to it anyways. So I kind of understand the unwillingness to go there. And Diamond likes to keep them on their feet. You know, you can't keep them. You got to keep them guessing. You got to Dynamax the Persian, Dynamax the Ferrothorn. Who knows? Maybe he'll Dynamax Dugtrio this game.
Yeah, it's very tough, I think, for Diamond to choose which one to Dynamax, because Sven does have like a cold counter for each Dynamax.
Yep, yep.
But let's say I love that we are going to game 3. Both amazing like adaptations from Sven, and very well played game 1 from Diamond. So let's see who take the final win.
Yeah, so Diamond going to go with Kingdra and Persian. A bit of a more conventional lead for you there, Izzy. And followed by the Landorus and Lapras on Sven's side.
Look, I just want to say, when I know my players, I know them kind of well.
That's true. And when you're the commissioner of your league, you better know your players well.
This is still, I think, very awkward depending on what Sven decides to do. Like, I do want to say that potentially maybe Kindred does Dynamax. Like, you can still fake out, or you can still parting shot, right? You know, you don't want to give Sven the speed control again.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, that Lapras looking like a potential Dynamax threat on Sven's side. I don't believe Josh's team has, too much for it. They have they have a lot of offensive pressure against it, but defensively they're not too happy to switch into anything. We are going to see the Lapras switch out on Sven's side. Very interesting. Oh, we're going to go for the Drampa Cloud9, expecting something like a Rain Dance or a Pelipper switch in. The Persian is just going to parting shot though into the Drampa. Going to go ahead and probably switch into something like the Pelipper to set up Rain, so that the Kingdra can, get schmovin and have some strong water type moves. We'll have to see what they go into here. I believe Cloud9 negates the, it just like turns off the weather, right? So it won't get any damage boost. Is that correct?
I won't get the speed boost yet.
Yeah, but it won't get the power boost from the rain either, right?
Yeah, because it's still weather stuff, so.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we see the Landers go first anyways, thanks to that Cloud9, and U-turn into the Pelipper. Very smart play there to avoid any super strong damage from the Kingdra.
Hold on, did you Hydropon? Sorry, did you have Hydropon? Oh no, it's flip turn, sorry.
Oh,
but it's water stuff, still. Sorry.
Diamond coming with the unexpected move again with what appears to be a physical Kingdra with flip turn, or maybe just that move tacked on there for some utility, but a really good read by Sven there.
That was an amazing read, Sven. Sorry, I even had to interrupt my commentator, but I was just like, yes, Sven, you're doing what I think you're gonna do. He hasn't revealed that he's water absorb this whole time, so this is actually really, really nice turn for. Even though they're both on, I think that the momentum is on Sven.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna see a Protect come out there from Kingdra. Doesn't want to get hit from something like a Freeze Dry. Pelipper is going to go for a U-turn into the Lapras. Going to go ahead and switch out there. Maybe put on some Fake Out pressure with Persian, or some offensive pressure with Tapu Koko in the back. But yeah, we'll have to see if Sven predicted this and targeted down the Pelipper slot, or just went for that Freeze Dry into the Kingdra. I believe something like a Draco Meteor, though, into that Pelipper slot is like pretty free at this point, especially if you consider, or if you don't expect the Tapu Koko. But we're going to see a Persian here, and the Freeze Dry is going to go into the protected Kingdra, and the Drampa is going to follow it up with a Draco Meteor into the Kingdra. So another good read there on Josh's side this time.
Yeah, this is going back and forth. I'm really, really excited. But here's the thing: is like, this is looking kind of scary, and we finally see the Dynamax from Sven's side by the Lapras. I think Diamond has to be Dynamaxing, and I just don't know who you would Dynam. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so we're gonna see a Dynamax on Josh's side. Hopefully, it's gonna be that Kingdra, so that Izzy's satisfied and it's something more conventional, and it looks like it is.
Thank you.
And like you said, this Sven's going to match the Dynamax with the Lapras, which is also a bit more conventional. Not that they were being unconventional, but got to keep Izzy happy. Interesting that Sven's Habanberry has not been shown yet, so if Diamond decides to go for something like a Max Wormwind into that slot, it will be able to survive, assumingly. But yeah.
Oh god. All the hidden text that Diamond couldn't find until game 3. I feel like he had to go for a dragon move on Drampa.
Yeah, it does seem pretty obvious. Oh, we're gonna go for a fake out into the Lapras, so gets that turn wrong, and we are gonna see the Max Wormwind into the Habanberry Drampa. We'll have to see if it survives here. Kingdra is pretty strong, especially if it's holding something like Life Orb, and it is gonna be able to survive with about 20% HP. We see that Sven's gonna go ahead and record that. He thought that one was pretty interesting. Gonna see attack drops on both sides, not gonna matter too much because they're both special attackers, and the Life Orb is revealed on Kingdra. Max Resonance going to go into the Kingdra, going to do, a good chunk of damage. Nothing too crazy. Lapras isn't the strongest Pokemon on the block. But maybe with something following up like a Draco Meteor here, Sven's going to be able to have... Oh, and he goes to the Draco Meteor, and it misses the Kingdra.
The amount of hexes have been happening back and forth in this game, so they're actually kind of funny. And honestly, like, I think... There was a high chance that Kingdra could have died, gotten KO'd by the Draco Meteor, because we saw a lot of damage on it. And, Sven got actually saved by that misplay from Diamond, because I think you should have fake out the Drampa. There was a chance the Lapras was going to Dynamax. I don't think you should have fake out the Lapras at this point.
Yeah, but it's a very specific combination of events that had to go wrong for Diamond there to not get that turn right. The Lapras had to Dynamax, and then the Drampa had to be able to somehow survive the Max Wormwind, which it was able to. So Drampa going to go for a helping hand. Pretty interesting there, especially if you expect to go down this turn, and the Persian's going to Parting Shot to sort of negate that helping hand damage. So now the Drampa is just kind of a sitting duck in front of the Kingdra here for something like a Max Wormwind. And Josh is going to go into the Pelipper this turn. Not doing too much, not setting up the rain, just kind of getting in. And the Wormwind's going to go into the Drampa and finish it off. And we'll see how much damage this Lapras is able to do in return.
Yeah, this is, what we kind of expected. It makes sense. You want to be able to remove that Cloud9 so your Kingdra can still be the fastest one. And I don't know if that Parting Shot probably negate the helping out. Oh wow, that's still pretty good damage.
Yeah, still pretty good damage. Not enough to get the KO, unfortunately. And like you mentioned, the Cloud9 is gone, so that Kingdra is the fastest thing on the field now with their rain. So this Kartana that's Sven switching in here is going to be under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, but we do remember we saw Protect on Kartana. Like, Sven should just be going with the Protect. You wasted last time with Dynamic Master on Kingdra here. Or like, he could call it out, but I do think, Sven, if you're smart, you should play it safe, because you have this in the bag.
Definitely. You have to wonder if the Kingdra's going to max guard here and expect something like a Max Resonance again. It might be able to survive at this range, but we do see that Sven's going to go ahead and target the Pelipper slot to be safe. The Kartana going to go for the Protect here. Doesn't want to go down to an attack from Kingdra. Ooh, a Max Wormwind from Josh here. A smart move to lower the attack since you're going first anyways. Going to bring that Kartana down to -1. And we'll see what this Pelipper or Lapras does here to follow up.
Yeah, and
Pelipper goes for a Hurricane into the Kartana. That probably would have KO'd at this range. Kartana not having the best special defense in the world. A G-Max Resonance going to go into the Pelipper. It was a pretty free slot there. You were doing some damage there if you expected a max guard, but it's not going to be enough to pick up the KO. And we do see that Rain actually stopped this turn. That's huge for Sven.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. I think you had to max our stream that last turn, because there was a chance that Rain actually was ending. So this is a little awkward right now.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. You'd probably expect something like a Protect on that Kingdra and the Pelipper to swap out so that it can swap back in and get the Rain, but we'll have to see what they decide to go for. The Pelipper is going to go for a Blind Hurricane into the Kartana and does reveal the Choice Scarf, I believe, but it does miss, and the Kartana is able to get the KO back with Leaf Blade. And that is going to give it a +1 boost, so it's going to be at neutral now thanks to that Parting Shot earlier in the game. Going to take some Life Orb chip. This Kingdra is going to go for a flip turn into the Kartana. Going to switch out into, I believe the Persian is the only thing left, unless it's still a 4v3. But it's going to take some Life Orb chip, and I feel like that's going to come in handy later on for Sven.
Yeah,
and we do see the Tapu Koko come in here. Going gonna take whatever this Lapras decided to go for. Um, I would assume it's gonna be the freeze dry, given that it's the Kingdra was there originally. Um, and we do see the freeze dry. Uh, the Lapras is -1 still, so not going to do a ton. Let's see if he gets another freeze, and he does not. So interesting position here.
Absolutely. So right now, yeah, it was a 4v3 and now it's a 3v3.
Mhm.
You know, Persian back again, fastest monk in the fastest monk here, fake out pressure. Now is, you know, you use double protect, but even then I think that it's still an even position for both players.
Yep, yep. Diamond is still threatening a KO on that Kartana with something like a Burning Jealousy, and I believe a Thunderbolt would be able to take out the Lapras at this range. But Sven going to go ahead and switch out the Lapras into Landorus, expecting something like a electric move from the Tapu Koko. Going to get an Intimidate down on both sides. Going to activate that White Herb again on the Tapu Koko so that it does not get that Intimidate drop. And the Kartana is going to go for a Protect here. Doesn't want to take a Burning Jealousy or a Fake Out. The Persian, the Tapu Koko is just going to go for a Wild Charge into the Landorus, and the Persian's going to follow up with a Burning Jealousy, and that's not going to be able to hit the Kartana here. So pretty good defensive play from Sven.
Yeah, and I like that there was no fake out. Instead, you just kept it honest. Be like, I know
Yep.
I'm faster. I'm just gonna do this. And I mean, the Persian can still do that. And yeah, EQ or EQ will be very funny if it actually happens.
Yeah, especially if you expect that Kartana to go down to something like the Burning Jealousy.
Yep. So like Sven is actually thinking about it. It's like, do I do this? Does Lando get the pickup? I mean, I hope he gets the pickup.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be able to get the pickup onto the Koko. We're going to see the Wild Charge out into the Kartana, not doing a ton of damage, actually. And the Persian's just going to go for that Burning Jealousy. This should take out the Kartana and leave the Landorus by itself. So, you know, pretty smart Earthquake there by Sven, actually. Going to get some spray damage off onto both. Let's see how much this Earthquake does to the Koko. It is able to get the KO and not doing a ton there to Persian. So, it is now a 2v2, I believe, and you know, maybe Lapras will click that move that you want them to click.
I mean, Ferroturn didn't come. Kindra is almost down. There's no reason not to just play the funny move because, and even you don't even need to show Parry Zone, but like yeah,
Oh.
now he's showing it. Okay, you don't even need to though, but
Now
yeah.
they don't even need to, but they want to. I think it's pretty safe actually, because you should get the Rock Slide off no matter what. Just click Perish Song. And I don't think they have any way of taking out the Lapras, so the Lapras should go down last because it should be the slowest. So, yeah, pretty safe to just click Perish Song at this point.
Yeah, I think Diamond always needed to bring Ferrotorn for the Lapras. There was no reason for Sven never to bring it. And then I think you didn't need Pelipper. If I'm gonna be quite honest, I felt like Pelipper didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was tough because you know Diamond really had to try and put on offensive pressure onto the Lapras, but it seemed like the Tapu Koko was the only thing on their side that was able to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I almost wanted to see a potential read, like just sacrifice your, because I feel like Burning Jealousy plus the EQ was always gonna get the Kartana, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you wanted to play that game earlier.
Yep, definitely. And now we're just seeing the end of this game here with the Perish Song. It's pretty much over unless Diamond's able to miraculously KO the Lapras. We do see the U-turn there finally revealed, KOing the Kingdra, and the Freeze Dry is going to go into the Persian and do actually a pretty good chunk of damage. And so we know this Persian doesn't have Protect at this point, so Sven's just going to be able to click buttons at this stage and get the dub.
Yeah, very well played from Sven. I think he kept Diamond honest, especially like with the fake outs and the protects. So right now, like Diamond's like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep taunting. I'm just gonna play this until the end.
Yep.
So yeah, GG's. That's it.
Yeah, really great game on both sides. We got an exciting game 3, and it was pretty back and forth the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think both of them show adaptations from each other. I think especially that game 3, Angelo. I felt like it was so back and forth between the players. It was not like Sven had that. It was until that very like small misplay that not doing the swap or not like reading not getting that
Yep.
getting that swap or read correctly, and Sven just keeping it, protect, just save, um help him a lot. I think that game three was very back and forth between these two players, and it's like I said, Diamond just top cut, high roller Sven newcomer. Now Diamond is 1-2, while Sven is 2-1, one step closer to playoffs. I think still anyone's game, but I really really like for all this I'm seeing both from both of them. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, congrats again to Diamond for top cutting high roller. That's really awesome and a great achievement. But yeah, like you said, both of these players are still plenty in the hunt for playoffs, and I'm excited to see how they do. I am looking forward to facing both of them later on myself. I play Sven next week, I believe, and then I play Diamond in the very last week of the season. So very looking forward to those.
And when he says next week, he means week 5, because we're
That's
now
correct.
we're in week 4 now while doing the week 3 video. But guys,
Yep.
thank you again. Angelo's social is in the description below. Angelo, thank you again for being my co-host again, commentator. Really appreciate it. All right, and that was an amazing match from both our players. I very very impressed with Sven, and congratulations to him. So now, as I said, watch the screen, look at this ranking, and let's talk about the new rankings we have now. And boom! So, my Wild Marcos versus the Old Wild Fish. It was a close set, but Wild Marcos actually get to keep staying undefeated, beating the Old Wild Fish. The San Diego Palkias moved to second. Surprisingly enough, despite the fact that they did end up losing to the 5th place, Johnny gets to stay on the 5th because of differentials and our formula. So I really think this is actually pretty funny. I do think that they also will be third because Hokeson. Oh, no, actually, no. Yeah. Because actually, second and third both lost their matches. Pokeson was facing the New Park Club Puppies, and he actually ended up losing. However, because of their winning beforehand and stuff, their ranking still is on the top 5. So, really funny how the top 5 has not changed at all, despite some of them facing losses. And with the victory of Sven, he is now in 6th place. This means he is in the contention of top cut, because the top 8 teams will move on. Bat also won versus Atmosphere, the Solosis supporters, so jump up all the way to 7th place. And then squishing in, we have the Boston Red Sox Galeos. Very close matches, and still, anyone's game. As of right now, very, very competitive. Like, the 8th to 9 and 10, they're really, really close matches. And funnily enough, I know I put the New Park Club Poppy in 13. I didn't double check, but they actually are tied on 12 too with the Corbin Knights. That one win helped the New Park Puppies, but because of schedules and differentials, still not enough for moving it from the bottom of the rankings right now. So very even, like at the bottom, and everything except the middle. I think the middle has the most chaotic things. And now let's check our schedule for week 4. So we have man, I can't believe like the scheduling that that Ally has is kind of crazy too. I mean, I didn't mean to do this, Ally, but now you get Johnny, who was the 5th seed currently, after probably a tough match versus Angelo. I think it was a little haxy, and I mean, I'm sure you're gonna be prepping, so be looking out, because this might be the season that the Wild Markers will stay undefeated. Because as of right now, they are the only player / team undefeated. So we'll see if we can keep it up. Week 4 of last season, I believe, was when he lost. Hopefully you break that curse. Now we have New Park Puppies versus the feisty. I never can guess that word correctly. It's crafty. A little bit of like a break from the Italians, but again, once again, the Puppies get another European. So far, 4 Europeans in a row. This is actually really really funny. I didn't mean to do this either. 45 miles, but yeah, let's get you know, maybe the latter half being friendly for other schedule might be better. Question mark. And then we have the Lola X class, which is the Lola Aloha Arwaquinids, the battle of Alolan Pokemons. To be quite honest, I saw the matchup. There's a chance we're gonna be featuring this one on our commentating. The enemy is a little weird, but I don't think it favors either of them fully. So this is gonna be a very very interesting match to watch. Then we have Jackie and Pokézone. Jackie's having a rough time right now. She's 0-3. And then she gets Pokézone, which again, it's a very scary player to have when you're 0-3. So I'm hoping that you get to jump back. Then we have Bat versus Old Wild Fish. Man, this is gonna be a battle, a very very interesting battle. And then at the end we have Solosis versus San Diego and Boston Wrestle versus Corviknight. I don't know what to expect from both teams. I think San Diego is gonna try going back up, keeping his second place. It is a season 1 a rematch battle, so very interested on that. But yeah, that is it for the schedules, and thank you again for watching, guys. Bye.